A contract on hope. The reality of contract work in Nigeria. Nigeria, a land brimming with potential, faces a hidden struggle within its workforce. Contract staffing, once a temporary solution, has morphed into a pervasive system. It's everywhere. Banks, telecom companies, oil giants, even government offices, all rely heavily on contract workers. These workers, often young and eager, are lured by the promise of experience and a foothold in their chosen fields. But the reality is far from the dream. Contract work has become the norm, not the exception. In Nigeria's bustling banking sector, a staggering 65% of workers are on contract. It's a similar story in the oil and gas industry. These workers fuel Nigeria's economic engine, yet their contributions are often undervalued and overlooked. The initial appeal of contract work fades quickly when the harsh realities set in. It's a system where hope often collides with a harsh reality. This is the story of Nigeria's contract workers, a story of unfairness, exploitation, and the urgent need for change. Unequal pay for equal work, the glaring disparity. One of the most glaring injustices faced by contract workers is the massive pay gap. Imagine working side by side with a full-time employee performing the same tasks, shouldering the same responsibilities. Now imagine receiving a fraction of their salary. This is the daily reality for countless contract workers in Nigeria. In the oil and gas sector, the disparity is staggering. Contract workers often earn a shocking 50 to 70% less than their full-time counterparts. It's a similar story in other industries. How is this justified? Companies argue that contract workers aren't entitled to the same benefits and security as permanent employees. But does this justify such a massive difference in pay for equal work? This pay gap isn't just unfair, it's a form of economic exploitation. Many contract workers struggle to afford basic necessities, trapped in a cycle of debt and financial insecurity. The lack of a living wage denies them the opportunity to improve their lives and contribute fully to the economy. The message is clear: their labor is considered disposable, their contributions unworthy of fair compensation. This is not just a labor issue, it's a social justice issue. Trapped in the middle, outsourcing firms and the plight of workers. The rise of contract work in Nigeria is deeply intertwined with the proliferation of outsourcing firms. These firms act as middlemen, supplying workers to companies across various sectors. On the surface, they promise efficiency and cost savings for businesses. However, the reality for workers is often bleak. Outsourcing firms take a hefty cut of the already meager wages paid to contract workers. They argue that they provide services like payroll management and benefits administration. But these services often amount to little more than basic administrative tasks. The result? Contract workers are left with even less money in their pockets, barely enough to make ends meet. Trapped in this exploitative system, they have little power to negotiate better terms. Their employment is precarious, their future's uncertain. They become invisible cogs in a machine designed to maximize profits for both the outsourcing firms and the companies that hire them. A call for change towards a fairer deal for contract workers. The plight of contract workers in Nigeria is a stain on the nation's conscience. It's a system crying out for reform, for justice, for humanity. The government has a crucial role to play. Enacting and, more importantly, enforcing stricter labor laws is paramount. Transparency in outsourcing contracts is essential. Companies should be required to disclose the amount paid to outsourcing firms and the actual wages received by contract workers. This will shed light on the often hidden exploitation within the system. Furthermore, contract workers should have the right to unionize and collectively bargain for better pay and working conditions. This will empower them to challenge unfair practices and demand their rightful dues. The exploitation of contract workers is not just a labor issue, it's a societal issue. Addressing it requires a collective effort from the government, businesses, and civil society. It's time for Nigeria to live up to its promise of being a nation built on fairness and opportunity for all. The time for change is now.